Assessment, accountability, and employability. Oh my. Friends, we are not in Kansas anymore. The fear inspired by these three words create visceral reactions in all of our higher education constituencies, right from the Tin Man to the Straw Woman to the Cowardly Lion. We are all a little nervous about this. And in fact, as long as we make an arts education about an arts education, we will continue the whack-a-mole of daily activity while higher education crumbles around us. But we have an amazing opportunity. A refocus on project-based creative problem solving will not only help rebuild the creative capacity of our future citizens, but will instill a sense of ownership in students for whom education has become a passive enterprise. This is how we get to creative capital, the root of American innovation, a root that has been underserved in our K-12 curriculum as of late, and will allow us to emphasize and demonstrate the incredible value of an education not in music, but through music. In a longitudinal study completed by the Gallup organization along with Purdue University of 29,000 undergraduates, they identified 5 characteristics of a college education that had the most profound effect on whether students felt that their education was worthwhile and also whether they felt that they thrived in their lives and their careers. I had a professor who cared for me. I had a professor that made me excited about learning. I had a mentor who encouraged me to pursue my dreams. I directly applied what I learned in the classroom on long-term projects. I worked on a project that took a semester or longer to complete. Educational experiences that create ownership through project-based problem solving and meaningful feedback in a one-on-one mentorship situation can address all the above factors and can make huge positive impacts on our students' lives. In fact, graduates who report all of these are more than twice as likely to report that they are thriving in their lives and their careers, something for us to be thinking about. Employers, too. They are far less interested in what a student's major might be, and instead are interested in the transferable skills that the student has demonstrably learned through creative and team-based projecting. The most respected study is the survey done by the National Association of Colleges and Employers, and they identified about 70% of them identified these as the top characteristics that employers want in a potential employee. Ability to work in a team, problem-solving skills, analytical skills, initiative, creative thinking skills, and willingness to take measured risks. Finally, we are all familiar with the high-impact practices outlined by the Association of American Colleges and Universities and the National Survey of Student Engagement. Several of these work hand in hand with creative problem-solving and projecting. Bottom line, we have a job to do. We must ensure and then demonstrate that students in our music curricula are graduating with significantly greater skills in such broad areas as creative thinking, problem solving, taking risks, and connecting ideas. And ensure that we are measuring their progress and that we are committed to continual improvement. One of the ways in which we get there is by regularly ensuring that our students take ownership for project-based learning that focus on the application of creative skills in their projects. This will provide the greatest number of opportunities to maximize the long-term benefits of their education. The Music Theory Core is an ideal place for instruction based on creative ownership because it cuts across all music instruction and lends itself to projecting and problem solving. Working from a nationally normed assessment instrument, I see a number of people nodding, the creative thinking value rubric developed by the AAC&U, music theorists have an opportunity to build creative ownership while justifying our place in the music theory, in the music curriculum. The value rubric assesses creative thinking in 6 areas: acquiring competencies, taking risks, solving problems, embracing contradictions, innovative thinking, connecting, and transforming ideas. Compositional problems that adhere to these principles provide extraordinary opportunities for creative ownership, no matter what the level of class. In order to help build ownership for these projects, we use models from various repertoires, meeting the students where they are, jazz, pop music, wherever it is. So here's just a really early draft from a non-majors class. The student has had no musical experience, never notated anything in their life, and we're about halfway through the semester, right? This person has taken an incredible amount of ownership. There's lots still to work on, many educational opportunities here. But by the end of the semester, this student was not only able to complete a whole song, but performed it in front of the class. Here's an example of an improv assignment for sophomore in oral skills. The student gets to practice with a backing track through the co-authored textbook that got plugged earlier this morning. Sorry. The evaluation of this is done with clear rubrics that value both coherence and creativity, and we'll see if we can actually hear it. Doesn't look like it's going to play. Okay. Anyway, it's a great trumpet improv over Autumn Leaves backtrack. Okay. Creating model composition assignments that start with real-world compositional problems are the cornerstone of creative ownership and skill building. Here's the beginning of a parody mass based on a Canis Firmus and motives from Surfin' USA. We have a sacred music major. This is designed to be used in a religious ceremony. Other real-world problems can be the creation of an alma mater, a fight song, which provide a relatively formulaic set of parameters, which is a good starting point for creativity. Arranging a popular tune for quartet for a friend's wedding might be another place for creativity in a real-world scenario. This is also an opportunity to connect to our mission of transforming our communities. Compositions for workshops with local schools, with the temporary family shelter for which we provide music programming, or our choir for underprivileged youth, these all provide opportunities to connect in-class learning with the real world. Starting with a clear model, doing some analysis, providing frequent and rapid feedback, working in tiny bits over the course of an entire semester, and then performing and archiving publicly will make a daunting task accomplishable and will encourage students to take ownership. Here you see an incipit from a variation assignment. Students take inspiration from Haydn's own head motives and then work phrase by phrase over the course of the semester, and we create a single massive variation movement from the entire class's work, and that we perform live together in a public concert. The product is then displayed for public consumption on our website. The cornerstone of creative ownership and real-world compositional problems is a clear and careful rubric that spells out all of the required structural elements in the architecture of a stylistic composition, but also that encourages and rewards innovation within a style. So here's just a tiny slice of a 2-page rubric for a semester-long sonata project, and an early draft of the opening of the development. Note that in this assignment, a student that completes an error-free Clementi-style sonata will receive a B- on the project. A student who wishes a higher grade or wishes some error forgiveness has to include innovative or creative elements. Also, I require students always to complete self-evaluations and to respond substantively to my comments, because I'm going to engage. I want them to engage as well. Creative ownership can be manifest in every element of our curriculum, through making creative performance decisions, to challenging oneself to engage in a variety of repertoires, to building on improvisational exercises. It is my belief that an education through music provides an ideal outlet for building the skills needed for success in the 21st century. The evidence is clear about the direction we must take to build these skills and assess them. Indeed, we aren't in Kansas anymore, and the great Wizards of Oz, our accrediting bodies, our governments, may seem like they present obstacles rather than solutions. But by adapting our curricula wisely and using the work of organizations like NESI, the AAC&U, and Gallup, we can reposition our work in terms of American innovation and creative capital. Thanks so much.